Hi there, my name is Angela. I hope you're keeping well. I'm a stage 3 cancer survivor and I share information on the role of nutrition and how we can use food as medicine to either prevent or fight cancer. Diseases generally, but my focus is really on cancer. Sharing through my experience as well and research that I continue to do. So I've talked a lot about intermittent fasting and if you truly want to master your health and the role nutrition plays in fighting diseases like cancer, then click the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. So in recent weeks, I've talked about intermittent fasting and fasting in general and its benefit. So in my last video, I talked about the various fasting windows. So check those videos out. They're really important and share them with anyone you know might benefit from it. But today, I want to talk about certain foods that we can drink, beverages, actually drinks that we can drink during fasting and we do not break our fast. So what happens is once we eat anything during fasting that triggers insulin, our fast is broken. So you might not know it, but you've broken your fast. And what triggers insulin is anything that is above 5 calories. So if you take anything above 5 calories, it triggers insulin. So one way to go about your fasting window so that you don't feel lethargic or tired or hungry or disoriented is to manage these drinks in a way that you don't go over the 5 calorie mark, but you're still having something to keep you going until you get to your feeding window. So I want to talk about some drinks we can use. So first one is water. So water is neutral, has neutral pH, is very good, helps hydration, and you can't go wrong with water. So the only difference is you're not having a pure fast and you're drinking water. Pure fast is always the best, no water at all, nothing, and you're fasting. The more the pure fast you do, the more benefit. But rather than doing nothing, we can also support it so that we can get at least some benefit from fasting. So that's what we're talking about. So water is good, pure, neutral, it hydrates you and keeps you going. So that's the first one. It's okay to drink water during your intermittent fasting. So now, next thing I'm going to talk about is in your water, sometimes when you start to have headaches and you're tired, disoriented, you can add a bit of sea salt or Himalayan salt to your water. Yeah, just a tiny bit. I use a 1/4 teaspoon in my water once in a while. I don't do it often. That's because I'm mindful of the fact that sodium can is not good for high blood pressure issues. So for anybody that has high blood pressure, I would say stay away from the salt. Don't use that as an option because there are other drinks you can use and I'm going to talk about. So that's the first one. Then you can also add lemon. You can add lemon to your water, squeezed lemon, but maybe a teaspoon because lemon has calories. So maybe a teaspoon of lemon in your water would help. So that's water, the first one. So the next one is apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar is very good for us generally. It's an ancient remedy and it's basically fermented apples, water, sugar, and apples fermented, and the end product is acetic acid. So a lot of people have asked me, acetic acid is acidic. So apple cider vinegar is acidic. Is it okay to take it if we're thinking about body pH? One thing I want to say is your body regulates its pH. So eat alkaline foods, that's fine. But your body also needs certain acid to digest food and to function. And one of those is acetic acid. So what apple cider vinegar does is helps you digest your protein and your foods generally. And that's why it aids digestion and pushes that food out and suppresses insulin, and by so doing it regulates your blood sugar. So it is really good. It has a pH of about between 3 and 3.5 and it's very good. So don't toss it out because it is acidic. That acid is actually a good acid that your body needs, so that's fine. It's rich in vitamin C. It has properties that fight cancer, reduces cholesterol in the body, bad cholesterol, helps with diabetes because it regulates blood sugar, helps with high blood pressure because it helps with the cholesterol. Really packed with a lot of goodness. I've shared video on this before, and I'm also making mine. My apple cider vinegar, I make it with organic apples, sugar and water. I'll share that video when it's done. That's about 50 days old at the moment. So look out for organic apple cider vinegar. Costco has organic. The health shops will have as well. Bragg's brand is also very good. And look for one with the mother, because that means it hasn't been pasteurized. So also I avoid taking any hot drinks because I think it contains live bacteria, and I just feel like the heat in the hot water would kill some of those bacteria. So I generally drink this in cold water. So what you do with your apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon in a glass of water, and you drink that. So one thing I would say is apple cider vinegar, because of the acetic acid, can erode your enamel, and that's not replaceable. So just keep an eye on that. Make sure you're not taking it directly, dilute it, and if you're still worried even, and use a straw. You can also squeeze a lemon in your apple cider vinegar and some cayenne pepper. What that does is it actually helps reduce your tummy. So another drink that is okay for during your fasting window is coffee. Black coffee is okay. A teaspoon of black coffee is about 2 calories. That's fine. And we hear a lot about bulletproof coffee. What that means is you can add maybe half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of fat, like lard, butter, pure butter, because it's all fat. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, any of those, coconut oil, all of those would not break your fast if you add it to your black coffee, and that will keep you going again. So if you feel really hungry, you can add any of those fat to your black coffee, but if not, you can just drink your black coffee by itself, because when you add the fat, then you're not hungry. That means your body is not really using a lot of its reserve, even though you haven't broken your fast. So my preferred fat actually is the extra virgin olive oil. When I use my coffee, when I take my coffee, I also add it to my tea. So extra virgin olive oil has properties that fight cancer, has cancer fighting properties. So I love it. This is from Spain. My brother sent this. Thank you very much. It is a pure 1866. So it's pure and it's really good. And I add a teaspoon of that, or half a teaspoon, to my coffee when I feel really hungry. And that's how I make my bulletproof coffee, knowing that olive oil fights cancer as well. And coffee in itself has helps regenerate stem cells, black coffee. So it is good. So what I would say is either use decaffeinated coffee or take 1 or 2 black coffees during your fasting window. I only take 1 in a day. I don't exceed 1, just so I don't struggle to sleep at night. Sleep is really important for maintaining our health as well. So the next one is green tea. Green tea is really good and has properties that fight cancer cells. So I add this to my drink. Sometimes after the coffee, if I feel like, again, still fasting, I'll have a cup of green tea and I'll add some squeezed lemon to it. So that's fine to take during your fasting window, green tea. Also, in the same lines, black tea, Earl Grey tea is also fine to take. You can also add extra virgin olive oil or any of those fat to any of your teas, and it's fine. The principle and the rule of thumb really is that you're taking something that is all fat, no calories, no protein. So whatever you're adding or taking, if it doesn't have calories and doesn't have protein and it's fat, is okay, because fat will not really break your fast. And we want to get to the autophagy state, which I've talked about in my previous video. I also want to talk about the herbal drinks. So turmeric has cancer fighting properties. I use fresh one. I have frozen one at the moment, which I use. So turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties. So it is okay to take it during your fasting window. So what I do is add a bit of pepper in, to it. Pepper, it can be cayenne pepper, it could be black pepper, because turmeric would not be absorbed by your body if you take it just like that. It just goes through your body 100% and out. But when you add a pinch of black pepper or cayenne pepper or any pepper, what happens is the pepper in that pepper opens your cells, and your cells absorb the curcumin in turmeric, which is the active ingredient that stops inflammation. So make sure you tap into that benefit by adding a bit of pepper to your turmeric anytime you take turmeric. So a bit of turmeric, half a teaspoon maybe in hot water with a pinch of pepper and some olive oil, a drop of olive oil. It's fine during your fasting. Just don't do it too much so that you don't increase the caloric intake. Also with ginger is fine as well. A bit of ginger with lemon is fine during your fasting as well. Cinnamon in water as well. You can add a bit of cinnamon in water. It has its benefit, especially for diabetic people. It has a lot of benefit. It gives you that full feeling as well, and it's okay to take a bit, half a teaspoon in water during your fasting. If you add a bit of fat to your drink, it will still take you to that autophagy state where your body regenerates new cells by, first of all, recycling the dead old mitochondrion, which is the dead cells, and these are the breeding ground for cancer cells to start to grow from. So when you do this frequently, you're wiping out that chance for cancer to breed in the first instant. This is one of the best results of fasting. It prevents cancer this way. So if you do up to 17-hour fast any day, you are getting into 1 hour of autophagy, and so you're helping your body regenerate new cells and also getting rid of old ones. So keep an eye on that. Adding a bit of fat to any of your preferred drink. Like I said, it's not an exhaustive list, but just some examples of some things you can take during your fasting. In my next video, I'm going to talk about foods you can eat during your feeding window also to get the best benefit of the fasting and to bring you into that autophagy state quicker when you now go back into fasting after your feeding window. So watch this space. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next.